Story 1. Do not be a heavy consumer of social media. Do not ignore good relationships. Do not give up reading for growth and education. Do not isolate yourself from the world by over-consuming video games. Do not eat poorly. Story 2. Putting women on a pedestal. Society taught men to chase women as if it was a necessity. Behavior like that can come from a place of fear or desperation. You do not want to be in a position thinking that having a girlfriend or a partner is your sole purpose in life. Chase excellence in yourself and the rest will follow. Story 3. Acting like feeling stuff makes you weak. Brother, go to therapy, cry a little, then lift weights or do something else. Balance. Story 4. Listening to men like Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate is creating a generation of bitter, hateful, and angry young men. I hate watching it happen. Story 5. Listening to anyone whose job is talking about masculinity and wondering why the world is unfair to them instead of finding something productive to do. Story 6. Gambling. It is hard enough to get a decent start in life as it is. Do not give your money away to some parasitic gaming company. Story 7. Stop trying to impress women. Work on yourself. Read books. Read poetry for your own development as a person. Learn useful and profitable skills, whether that is a trade, computer skills, or something else. If you don't love any of the profitable skills, learn them anyway. But also invest time and energy in hobbies you genuinely enjoy. Manage your finances. Don't let debt destroy your 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is mostly about managing spending, because almost no one has the income to avoid watching their expenses. Try to be fit, but not overly muscular. Some women are attracted to aggressive individuals who treat them poorly. You don't want to be that person, and you don't want to date someone like that. If you become a well-rounded, good person, finding a partner is very likely. If all else fails, you are in good company even when alone. Story 8. Being lazy, making excuses, avoiding responsibility, and listening to anyone or anything that tells them they cannot create the life they want for themselves. Story 9. Belittling each other in an attempt to get a woman is not right. In time, you will see that the sex or relationship was not worth it, as a woman who finds the humiliation of an innocent person entertaining will not be an ideal partner. We must be better about how we treat each other. Story 10. Stop shaming and attacking other men whose attitudes, philosophies, or beliefs do not align with theirs. Story 11. I'm seeing all these high school and college boys shaped like triangles. They only work out their shoulders, chest, and arms. They are missing a whole part of their body. Story 12. Stop thinking that your partner is going to take care of you like a mother. You are 50% of a partnership. You should be doing 50% of all the cooking, cleaning, and childcare. If your partner has to take care of you like a mother, she will lose desire for you. Story 13. Being undisciplined. There is something about focusing on a long-term goal for 5 to 10 years and conquering that challenge. It gives you unbelievable confidence. People give up too soon, but failing is a part of life. Learn to get back up after getting knocked down in the 5th round and become a champion. It is rare to see people with the discipline to follow through on their convictions no matter what. In my opinion, this is a big part of what masculinity means. Story 14. Turning to pornography for intimacy. Textual relationships. Not working out and drinking water. Poorly managing money. Existing almost exclusively online. Story 15. Using the word value when talking about humans. Stop thinking money or wealth will change everything or that it is necessary to be seen as wealthy. Story 16. Use social media as a source of information about politics and society. Learn how to identify fake accounts and automated bots. Listen and talk to people outside your own bubble. Story 17. Staying in or getting into a bad relationship just so someone will be there to support you is not necessary. You just need a stainless steel pasta fork. It does 2 things. Story 18. They should stop being so hostile to anyone who questions their opinions or asks for reasoning. It is the equivalent of a toddler throwing a tantrum when they cannot have their own way. Definitely a growing problem on Reddit and in real life. Case in point, many comments in this thread. Story 19. Stop sending or requesting nude photos. Every date I have gone on, the person I have taken out has thanked me for being the one guy who has not sent explicit photos or asked for nude photos. It is about showing the person you are interested in that they are a human being whom you respect, not an object. Story 20. Spending time on social media. I know it's cliché, but get off your phone. Stop listening to influencer podcasts. Stop scrolling through social media posts and videos. Find at least one in-person hobby that requires interaction with other people, such as golf, basketball, chess club, book club, or anything that gets you out of your room and in front of others. Exercise at least 3 times a week in some way. It doesn't matter what, just get yourself tired and sweaty. I believe most issues affecting young men would improve or be cured if they spent less time alone and online, and more time in the company of others in the real world. Story 21. Stop taking terrible people as your model of what a man should be. Yes, it's tempting to listen to the tattooed tough guy with the Bugatti telling you that nobody is worth anything to you. But I can assure you that's a one-way ticket into loneliness, depression, and being an outcast in your personal and professional lives. I work as a substitute teacher with kids at every grade level. I've seen this mentality take hold in kids as young as 10, up to 18. And I've seen what happens when they carry this mindset into university, where they quickly become the person nobody wants to talk to or be associated with. It's funny in middle school to hear kids talk about getting their money up, but it gets depressing fast when you see that same mindset ruin them. Opportunities in high school to develop social skills vanish. Accumulating experience disappears. Extracurricular activities that could have been keys to success are lost. Once in college, they refuse to form connections or get to know their professors and department chairs. They end up ignored when genuine work opportunities arise. I went to high school with one of these guys. He refused to change his mentality or even attempt to be approachable. Once college came around, he just disappeared. While the rest of my department prepared for internships, research, or building professional contacts in local politics, this person was back home, dropped out of college. The point I'm making is that following the mentality preached by the manosphere, being overtly masculine, strong, and stoic, will inevitably ruin you. Sure, there will always be the occasional person who finds success on their own. They usually also have extraordinary luck and an abundance of money and talent to work with. Most kids who follow this mentality have none of those advantages. Story 22. Competing with other men. Life is not a zero-sum game. Stop worrying about what another man has, does, or is capable of, and focus on what makes you happy and fulfilled. Story 23. Stop worrying about what people think. It will keep you stuck, and most people aren't thinking about you as much as you believe. Stop chasing meaningless sex like it's an achievement. It won't fill the hole in your chest. If anything, it will deepen it. I'm not saying don't have sex, but don't go out trying to sleep with a different person every night. Don't hit the clubs every weekend because you're only 20 once. That mindset can harm your health and leave you without direction. There's no harm in staying home with a couple of friends and enjoying a few beers while watching sports. But there is risk when you're at a crowded club at 2 a.m. getting extremely drunk. This needs to be said. Don't waste your 20s. These are your prime years. Spend them building your future, not destroying it. Go to university or college, start a business, enter a trade, or even travel abroad for a year. Just do something in your late teens or 20s that benefits your future. And for all that is important, stop listening to small-minded people who promote unrealistic expectations of how the world works. They will not make you feel better or improve your life. Instead, they deepen insecurities. Stop fearing failure because without it you will remain stuck for years. The only way to grow is by failing and learning from those experiences. Finally, have the courage to stand up to your parents when they try to prevent you from growing as a person. Story 24. Becoming addicted to video games, excessive screen time, reading manosphere anger-inducing content, taking steroids, and believing women will have sex with them if they just get very muscular. Spoiler alert, they will not. Women prefer athletic physiques to fatherly bodies, not bodybuilders. Also, not cultivating a real-life social life. Story 25. Comparing your value to others. Smoking. Worrying about things you cannot change or control. Story 26. Riding those electric bikes recklessly like some of those critical mass rides while wearing a Nazi-style helmet, thinking it is cool. Story 27. Comparing their bodies to bodybuilders, social media influencers, and actors. Mentally unhealthy, physically unhealthy, opens up plenty of room for eating disorders. Most of the time, the ideal body type is a steroid-enhanced person who cannot hug their own mother because their latissimus dorsi muscles are so big. Story 28. Dabbing. You have a torch, a large glass bong, butane, a nail, and a silicone tray with burn marks all over. Just roll a blunt. Story 29. The hustle lifestyle. You have raccoon eyes from doing your side gig and still can't make ends meet. You are doing something wrong. Story 30. Making TikTok videos that end with them shouting, "It's just a prank, brother." And while we are at it, stop saying brother or bruh. Story 31. I'm still kind of young, I guess, at 25, but one thing I'm starting to see is a lot of young men listening to strange internet self-proclaimed gurus on how to be a man and what to do with themselves. These manosphere figures are not good role models. At best, they want to sell you the most boring lifestyle ever. All work, no fun, all gym, work, and sleep, living like a monk. Apparently, that's good because ancient men were like that or something. I understand it. It's very manly to look up to great men, especially historical figures, to help us in the modern day. But we need to realize those men grew up and lived under very different circumstances. While their words resonate with us today, we shouldn't try to emulate them where they were, but rather where we are. Even Marcus Aurelius, the poster child for this sort of philosophy, tells us, adapt yourself to the life you have been given, and truly love the people with whom destiny has surrounded you, and waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. At worst, these figures will make you think your entire value as a man is how much money you make, and they'll try to feed you some of the most untrue statements about women possible. Story 32. Stop neglecting your mental health. It is just as important as physical health. Go to a therapist or counselor. It is okay not to be okay. Story 33. Listening to manosphere nonsense. There are many examples of positive masculinity in the world. However, the negative kind has a strong hold on social media, especially among younger and more impressionable individuals. COVID-19 really created the perfect storm to damage the mindset of a large portion of an entire generation. I am an elder millennial, and it is shocking to see the hateful and ignorant views we fought the baby boomers about, only to have Generation Z come along and become conservative again. I thought we had dealt with that ignorance and would be moving on to new areas where growth was needed. I truly hoped that George W. Bush would be the worst president of all time, an absolute war criminal of an administration. But that hope was destroyed when a moronic reality television star, who has been the subject of jokes for my entire life, became president and created a cult of personality that has caused untold damage to our democracy and ruined our standing on the world stage. How sad. Story 34. Blaming the world for their failures and circumstances. The world owes you nothing. Your life is yours and yours alone to succeed or fail with. Story 35. Spending time looking at screens unless they are directly engaged in a game, doing work, watching a movie or television, or actively socializing with someone. It may sound old-fashioned, but I believe people should avoid putting themselves in situations where they can be influenced by anyone they do not actually know firsthand. This entire comment contradicts that belief and should be scrutinized and dismissed like any other nonsense read online. That is my final answer. Actually, now that I have written this and realize it may come across as harsh, I have no idea where to start telling any young person what to stop doing, because I don't know what they are doing. However, I would advise they start actively doing, rather than relying on second or third-hand information from others about how things are. I know there is a lot of bot and algorithm-generated nonsense on this platform, but for real, the number of posts like, "This person I sort of like or might like me back, what do I do?" is very depressing. Story 36. Stop worshipping wealth. People who are wealthy and claim that you just have to become a servant to your employer are selling you false ideas. Develop a good life and work balance with life as the priority. Understand that those above you who try to squeeze more out of you are doing so because they do not want to put in the effort themselves. The time you spend with your friends and family is more important than any unfulfilling job. Enjoy it while you are still able-bodied, because as you grow older, your circle of friends will shrink, and you will realize that the time you did not spend with friends and family has been lost because you allowed it to deteriorate. Go live your life. Story 37. Stop watching social media and stop taking your cues about life and lifestyle from social media. It is a toxic echo chamber and cesspool that is almost as dangerous as hard drugs. Talk to people instead. Go out in the real world. Play team sports. Get some hobbies and life pursuits. Above all, live within your means. Learn to delay your gratification and save for the future. The financial independence, retire early concept is excellent. Follow the path to building your financial independence and retirement fund. Then live life on your own terms with no boss or superior. Story 38. I find it incredibly funny how many people answer stop listening to men's community influencers. Yet 60 to 70% of the answers align with what men's community influencers are saying. Story 39. Stop living according to what others have been told would make them happy and actually find something that does. Story 40. All people should stop using phrases like, "it's a joke," or "I'm just joking" as a reason for anything ever. Story 41. Get off Reddit, get off all social media, and go outside to interact with real people. Build life experiences instead of reading about them on the internet. Story 42. Vaping is harmful. Do not start and quit as soon as possible if you have already begun. You can become addicted to the feeling, making it difficult to stop. Causes a nasty dry sensation in your throat, and when you wake up, things may taste unpleasant. Additionally, your throat can feel sore constantly if you vape excessively. Furthermore, spending $30 for enough vaping supplies to last about 3 weeks is much more expensive than the experience is worth. Story 43. Saying hateful things to themselves. Feeling like a failure at a young age. Trying to be someone you are not. Do not stop reading, even if it is for entertainment. Gaining weight and not exercising because you are a man does not mean it is normal to have a big belly. Being violent when it is not absolutely necessary. Committing crimes. Being bitter towards women and other men. Blaming everyone and everything except yourself. Avoiding responsibility. Getting women pregnant if it is not planned. Story 44. To be able to make others happy, you need to be happy yourself. First, make yourself happy and content with life, and then you can look for someone to share it with. If you think you need to be in a relationship or married, with or without children, to be happy, you will be disappointed. You need to learn about yourself first, and once you truly know who you are, then you can share your life with others. It took me almost 50 years to learn this. Story 45. Listen to people on the internet telling you what not to do. Laugh out loud. But seriously, try to find role models that teach you how to think for yourself, have constructive discussions, and weigh different opinions and options when forming your own views. Most things are not totally bad or good but exist on a scale. This includes many of the things listed here in this thread. Story 46. Masturbating to large amounts of pornography. Not shaming the actors or anyone involved, but if someone could explain the positive impact it has had on society, I would like to hear about it. In my experience with young men dating my daughter, it has become an issue. These young men have expectations based on what they view, and most of it is not appropriate. I will not go into further detail. Story 47. Having multiple partners casually, even one at a time, is not appreciated. Women do not like knowing that you have been with many people. Consider your future partner. Story 48. Tinder and touchscreens. Teaching a member of Generation Z how to use a computer is more difficult than teaching a millennial. Story 49. Stop believing in left versus right identity politics. You can be conservative on some issues and liberal on others. Someone who says they speak for you often cares more about their own image. Polarization on either side often leads to fascism and your rights being trampled. Story 50. Men should avoid supporting women during their successful period if those women did not contribute meaningfully during the period of struggle. Story 51. Being mean will not help you improve. You will get better at everything you do, and it is impossible to do nothing. You have to teach yourself to stop following darker impulses, because if you always choose to be mean, you will become a mean person as an adult. You may believe that is the normal state of mind. Learn to be good early. Learn to stand up for those who are weaker early. Once you are an adult, you will find that training those qualities is much harder than continuing old habits. Story 52. Invest extra time to be yourself and do what you want. No matter the circumstances, that is your true way. Later, you may observe elderly people engaged in activities. For the sake of everything sacred on earth, do not work for them. Work for something that benefits you and everyone. Story 53. Doubting themselves. Just go for it. It is okay to fail, but eventually you succeed more than you fail. Story 54. Blaming women for life, for sex, for anything is unproductive. Life is what you make it. There are more women than men and more gay men than lesbians, so the numbers are skewed in your favor as a heterosexual male. Additionally, women enjoy sex, so just don't be a creep or disrespectful. Stop comparing yourself to others and focus on your own growth. My parents didn't give me the money to buy my home. I achieved it through hard work and learning about mortgages. I was promoted at work through hard work and self-training. Story 55. Listening to and watching these podcasters who tell men to be a man. I understand that many men did not grow up with fathers or father figures they could look up to. This is not a criticism, but much of the appeal of these men stems from that lack of direction during formative years. I was fortunate to have my grandfather, who taught me important lessons while also showing that his way was not the only way. Ask yourself, what proof of competence do these men claiming they can help you become the man you want to be in life actually show? Beyond criticizing young adults and making broad statements about women, all while living in ways they advise against. Story 56. Going online and telling women they hate everything about them is literally creating a generation of women fearful of men and going out. This gender conflict is becoming increasingly strange. Story 57. Listening to Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, and others. Correcting people is not your job. It is not your responsibility to make sure others are right. If someone says 2 + 2 = 5, that is their choice. Enjoy that. I will be on my way in peace and serenity. Story 58. Stop using dating applications. Get used to talking to women you do not know who might completely reject you. This builds character. Story 59. Watching pornography. When individuals are young and have a high sex drive, it primarily affects brain pathways. As they age and their sex drive decreases, they may encounter difficulties in relationships with partners. Ultimately, this is not healthy. Story 60. Overeating and playing video games. They should stop neglecting to go outside and get some sunshine as well. Story 61. Searching for easy gratification through vices such as drinking, smoking marijuana, partying, pornography, and gambling is mentally destructive. It can become a lifestyle that is hard to change as you age. Focus on working hard, building the life you want, saving money, and improving yourself each day. Story 62. Stop thinking women are goddesses. Stop giving them power over your life. Value yourself more than them. Story 63. Personally, I suggest young men stop chasing women. Anyone or anything that is running from you does not want to be caught by you. It is important to be social, have boundaries, and be consistent. Story 64. Blaming others instead of doing some self-reflection. Expecting the world to instantly hand you everything. Relying too much on cologne and body spray. Story 65. Making superficial decisions is life where it is more about how you present yourself than actually being yourself. Story 66. I think the problem is everyone hates something. No one can hate nothing and still have some love. Most things coming from young men are complaints, which is understandable. However, you have to figure it out or at least try to. Story 67. As a woman, here is what young men seriously need to stop doing. Thinking your genitalia is a personality. It is not. You are not special because you have one. If you lead with that and nothing else, trust me, we are already bored. Living like a raccoon and calling it minimalist. Your bathroom should not look like a health hazard. Wipe things down. Open a window. Buy a toilet brush. It is not that deep. Skipping basic hygiene but still expecting oral sex. No one is putting their mouth on you if you do not know how to use soap. Cut your nails. Brush your teeth. Wash yourself. Get a nice haircut and a nice beard trim. Basic respect. Talking about your ex like she is still your girlfriend. If her name keeps popping up, or you are still texting her, just be single. No woman wants to be plan B while you process your past. Dating someone you are not even into and then resenting her for it. If you settled because you think you cannot do better, do not take it out on her. That is on you. Grow up and stop wasting her time. Acting like having emotions is weak. If your friends make fun of you for being real, get new friends. And stop treating your girlfriend like your therapist if you cannot even name your own feelings. Whining that the world is against you. It is not. Nobody is plotting against you. You are not that important. Life is hard for everyone. Get over the main character syndrome. Pretending you want something serious just to get laid. If you are just horny, say that. Lying about your intentions is weak. Nobody owes you sex just because you were nice. These are the main things. Story 68. Making excuses. I shouldn't have to do this. The world shouldn't work that way. That's not fair. I can't succeed because of this. Welcome to the real world. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. It can be difficult sometimes. You may fail if you try, but you will never succeed by giving up before you even start. Stop making excuses and start trying. Story 69. Start building social capital by watching TED Talk's top 100 videos from beginning to end. Start learning real skills such as another major language. Start respecting everyone you meet. Deliberately build real relationships, not just with the next-door neighbor you grew up with. Start living healthily. Stop counting sexual partners. Stop damaging your body through illicit drugs and binge drinking. Story 70. Men should stop placing a template on themselves. You are okay just being you and loving your interests. Follow those and do things that make you happy, not things that make you manly. You don't need to be the rugged, individualistic, gun-toting defender of America. You can just be Steve, who has a job and likes to play Minecraft with his friends. You don't need to be the jacked double of Superman. You can just be a regular guy who goes to the gym to maintain his health. I feel that too many boxes are being carved out for men politically, and they just can't be. Story 71. Scrolling. When you are bored, do something other than using the phone. I know the phone is useful, but I have had most of my great ideas when bored. Websites and applications like this one kill the downtime our brains need. Story 72. Young men should stop isolating. Go out in public. Talk to people. Find a third space if you can. There are many comments about staying away from the manosphere content, and I completely agree. However, I believe many people fall into it because they have limited real-world context. Real-world experience with many different kinds of people creates resistance to it. Story 73. 1. Letting emotions override your thoughts and actions. That does not mean not being emotional. Cry it out and vent if you have to. It means love with logic and be mindful before investing your energy. Manage your masculine and feminine traits instead of swinging from one extreme to the other. When you listen to men who give life advice, do not make it your life. Cherry pick from their advice and experience and apply what you find ideal. Everyone is different, so do not be a carbon copy. Stop relying on the opinions of others to make decisions. Find what is useful. When dating, have clear boundaries and stand on them even if it makes your potential partner uncomfortable, male or female. Be prepared to remove them from your life at the first sign of disrespect. You will thank yourself later. Story 74. Stop listening to OnlyFans creators like Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. They are dishonest promoters. When trying to form connections, do not focus on sex. Seek friends instead. Media encourages chasing sex, but it is unfulfilling. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.